All right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. James Carrington, back at it again with a brand new episode. How y'all doing out there? Please take some time out right now before I start the show to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber to the show. And if you also want to follow the show on any other social media platforms such as Facebook, you can see clearly the title of the show right there on the banner in the background. But most importantly, I need to point your attention to the red URL on the very top of the banner. That is where you will find audio versions of the show. And the audio podcast version of the show has quite a few episodes dating back as far as 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, so if you're new to, because I'm relatively new to YouTube. Okay, for the longest time, the show was just an audio version show, but I guess I had to evolve and start doing the YouTube thing just like a lot of other content creators. But there is a treasure trove of information and of entertaining shows and episodes that I have done, but those are basically on the audio website. The YouTube video visual version is now catching up, but it's going to take years for me to create the amount of content on YouTube that I have in the audio podcast site. So do me a favor, subscribe to the show right now on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and hit the notification bell so you will be notified when I come on. But also copy, write down the link on the very top part of the banner in red. Go to that website and subscribe to the show through the website. You can subscribe through Apple Podcast or Google Podcast as well. All right. And most importantly, if you want to reach me directly, there's a phone number right there. That's the WhatsApp number. You don't have to call me. You can leave a voice note. That's the beauty about WhatsApp. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Bangladeshi, or you could be in Sri Lanka, or you could be in the Bronx, or you could be in, I don't know, Cincinnati. As long as you have the WhatsApp, you can reach me. And I strongly urge and recommend that you guys call me and you leave voice notes and comments about the episodes that I put up. And if there's anything that you want my opinion or my take on, let me know. I'll make a show about it. Okay? So anyway, without much further ado, let's get into today's video.
Hi everyone. My name is Reverend Emmanuel Oko Mills, and I urgently need your prayers and financial support. I am currently a dialysis patient, very ill with kidney.
Well, that sucks. I mean, being on dialysis sucks. It really does. Anyway.
Failure, pneumonia, sleep apnea, and a worsening shortness of breath.
I won't be surprised if this guy also has congestive heart failure. He probably has congestive heart failure too, but I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead.
See, it has affected my speech. I speak slowly lately. As a result of all these conditions, I am frequently being admitted to the hospital for treatment. I've been in Canada for over 20 years, where I have been treated for all these medical conditions. But
All right. So we have heard a little bit of background of this gentleman. He's Ghanaian. He looks like he might be in his mid 70s, right? This guy could pass for my dad. He looks like he's in his mid 70s. So if we're being conservative, let's even say maybe he's 70. And he says he's been living in Canada for 20 years. If we're going to assume he came to Canada directly from Ghana, so then that means he came here when he was 50. Again, we're being conservative with the numbers. Okay, he migrated out of Ghana when he was 50 and he came to Canada. And now he's been in Canada for 20 years. So, and this is all based on the assumption that he is 70 years old. He could be older. He could be like, again, he could be like my dad's age. He could pass for my dad. My dad is 76. So this gentleman, if I were a gambling man, I would say he could probably be like 76, 75. But I don't want to push it. So I'm just going to stick with 70. Okay. Let's listen in some more to his story.
unfortunately, I just received a letter from the Canadian government and the immigration services that I will be sent home. That is to Ghana, and therefore slated for an interview on the 29th of September 2022, when they will give me deporting papers. The issue,
Now, just out of curiosity, I'm trying to figure out why would they want to interview him if they plan on deporting him anyway? What is that interview going to accomplish? Like, what is the end goal there? I thought if you've been told that you're about to be deported, they just come for you on that day and they take you straight to the whisk you to the airport or the processing center, and then they just put you on the plane. I thought that's how that works. Anyway, I've never been deported, so I don't know. Maybe he's talking about him being processed before he gets deported. That's what he means by interview. Right? Anyone who has any experience with these things or knows someone that has been through that, shoot me a quick WhatsApp text or comment in the comment section below.
is I have no one in Ghana to help look after me, as I left over 20 years ago. My twin sister has passed away. And my parents are both dead. And I have no siblings or home to go to. The stress of this whole situation is making my condition worse and has drained me financially. I am also unable to be active in my missionary duties or ministry.
All right, so let me interject here. This is a very sad story. Okay, the situation this gentleman finds himself in right now is one of tragic proportions, really, if you'll ask me. Here you have again, we're gonna say he's 70. Here you have a 70-year-old man who has kidney failure, needs to be on dialysis at least 3 times a week, and is about to be deported. And he's about to be deported back to his home country, and he has no one to take care of him. He has no siblings because his twin sister died. I mean, his parents are not alive, but even if his parents were alive, I mean, what would they be able to do for him now? If his parents were alive, they probably would be in their 90s, right? And if I am to assume correctly based on what he's saying, he probably doesn't have a house that he can go and live in. And he's elderly, so he doesn't have I don't know, he doesn't make mention of cousins or next of kin. Basically, this guy has nobody. I showed this video to my buddy George, and my buddy pointed out something that was very interesting. He was like, how come this guy didn't mention any kids? And I said, my first response to that was, well, maybe he doesn't have any kids. But then, my friend was like, well, if he didn't have any kids, he would have said that. He would have actually mentioned that. He would have said, either he would have said, I don't have any siblings, I don't have any kids, so that you listening to him would be like, oh, okay, he doesn't have any kids, he doesn't have any siblings, right? It makes sense. It makes perfect sense that he would bring that up. So my friend's conjecture was that this guy probably has kids, but he's probably one of those older African men, or, well, this is not just relegated to African men, but he's probably one of these older guys who has kids somewhere, or has a kid somewhere, but never really developed a relationship with the child. He's probably estranged from his kids. That is why he doesn't even make mention of them, because if he does have kids, or no, let me put it this way: if he doesn't have kids, he would have made sure to let us know, right? He would put it in there and say, I know most of you are probably wondering why, my kids are not taking care of me, but that's because I was never able to have kids, or I don't have kids. But he purposefully left that out. At least that is the thinking now. So he probably has kids, but never, had a relationship with them. Therefore, he doesn't feel the need to mention them, because if he does bring them up, then he will have to explain why they are not in his life right now, why they're not in this picture. There'll be some explaining to do. And that explanation will either fall along the lines of, well, I was a terrible father, therefore my kids hated me, or whatever. Either way, he has to let us know what is going on with his kids and why they're not in the picture. And the explanation could either be a good, viable one, or it could be a terrible one. A good one could be, I have one son or daughter, or I used to have a son or daughter who passed away. That's why they're not in my life. So then you, the listener, would be sympathetic to that, right? You'd be like, oh man, that sucks. Or he could say, I have a child, but, I had a child, but they were a special needs child, and therefore I do have a child, or I do have children, but they're special needs kids, so they can take care of me. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. But this guy makes no mention of kids at all, which is kind of weird. He makes no mention of kids. So my buddy seems to think that's what happened. He has kids, but he's estranged from them. And if you know anything about African fathers, again, and I know it's not just African fathers, but I'm just telling you, coming from being an African myself, it is possible that this kid this gentleman at some point stopped getting along with his children, or he didn't care about his children. He never took care of them. And now he finds himself alone in his old age because the kids are not in his life, don't want anything to do with him. And now he has reached this point in his life where they could have played a pivotal role in taking care of him. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Anyway, let's continue.
As I have no home in Ghana and I'm being deported from Canada to Ghana on the 29th of September 2022, I have been advised to get a good solicitor to plead my case in court. Right now, I want to plead with anyone who will hear my voice in this video. I'm calling on anyone who sees and hears my voice in this video to kindly support me with prayer and financial. Any amount of money is welcome. The financial support will go a long way to help me get a good solicitor to represent me to fight my case in staying in Canada in order to receive all the necessary medical treatments. Please, can you share this SOS message to all your friends and family? Oh my goodness. Thank you, and may God bless you. If you can take opportunity to show me kindness.
This is a sad story. It's just sad. It's just sad because, again, I'm looking at someone who is elderly, who is frail, who is not in the best of shape, and he anything that could go wrong is going wrong for him right now. At a point in time, or at a point in his life where he should just be basically resting comfortably. But so, conclusion,